Hey everybody, my name is Logan Wassel. This is EDC Kansan, and today we're going to be doing a review and demonstration of the WorkSharp Combo Knife Sharpener. Let's check it out. Like many of you, I'm not very good at sharpening knives, and usually when I would want a really sharp edge after I dulled one of my blades, I would just go buy a new knife, and that's not very financially responsible, so I thought I would finally learn how to properly sharpen a knife using this right here. It all started when I really needed to sharpen my bug out, and I would just stop carrying it, and no one wants to just stop carrying their knife just because it's not sharp. Today I'm just going to do a little bit of a demonstration on how exactly this knife sharpener works. It's a lot easier than you might think, and it just takes a few minutes to get a really dull knife to very, very razor sharp. So to start out, I'm just going to move this over. Now I'm actually going to sharpen 3 knives today. I have one that is very, very old, very in need of sharpening, and then 2 kind of different style knives that are both decently sharp but could still use a touch-up, and this sharpener is great for both of those things. The one we're going to start out with is the Kershaw Blur. Now, this is a really, really old knife that I've had for many, many years, and as you can tell, it's seen some better days, and I have not had a sharp edge on this thing in as long as I can remember. It's the knife that I would carry on me for my jobs in high school, just working in retail or fast food, breaking down boxes, apparently opening paint cans, and it is just destroyed. And to show you here, see how that just tears the paper? It's supposed to slice through it very nicely, and today we're going to fix that. So let's get this out of the way for now. Get these guys out of the way. Now before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit about the sharpener and kind of its specs. There's just a simple on-off switch right here. It is a wired connection, so you're not going to be able to put a battery in this and take this on the go. You do need an outlet to use it, but honestly, it never really leaves my garage, and I'm perfectly fine using an outlet for it. Now, unlike some knife sharpeners, this one is not adjustable. It will sharpen your edge at 25 degrees. That's 12.5 degrees on one side and 12.5 degrees on the other. And then this rod here is for honing and for the serrated edges. WorkSharp also recommends that you pull the knife through at about 1 inch per second. Obviously, that is a little bit subjective, so just don't move too fast and don't move too slow either. The bands on the inside are very flexible, and they're not going to snap if your blade happens to push against it too hard. Since this knife is very dull, I'm going to give it the full treatment. That's going to be 10 passes, that's 5 on each side, and then I will hone the edge, also 10 passes, 5 on each side. There are also these guides for your knife, that way you know exactly what angle you're holding at, and you can keep it consistent the whole way through. Since this knife is serrated, I'm not going to use the belt for the serrated part. That's just the white honing rod. I'm only going to pull through the straight edge for this part. For this next part, like I said, we just used the honing rod. If you'll notice, it's actually thicker at the top and it tapers down as you get lower. And that is by design. They make it so you're able to match up your serrations with exactly the size they need. For serrations, you want to only sharpen the beveled edge. I like to line up the angle right here and then actually use both hands, and you just want to go back and forth a few times. Now that I've touched up the serrated edges, I'm going to hone the blade. Again, you want to use these guides to make it stable, and I'm just going to take 10 passes like they recommend, 5 on each side. And just as with the band, you want to alternate each side to keep it even. And to hone the serrated edge, you're just going to go on the back side of the bevel just a few times. Now here's where the rubber meets the road. Let's do another paper test. For me, it's still tearing a little bit, so I'm going to take a few more passes on it just to touch it up. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, much smoother. So like I said, it's a pretty easy process. I'll sharpen the other two just to give you another example of a quick touch-up. There we go. And I will sharpen the last one here just to give you guys an example of a rather short, straight edge. Very, very sharp now. This functions as my box opener, so it gets very, very dull cutting a bunch of cardboard. Rather than carrying a utility knife, I carry this guy instead. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It does take a little bit of getting used to holding the knife at the perfect angle, matching it the whole way through, but after a few tries, it'll be just fine. I'll also show you guys how to take this apart if you ever need to replace the band. It does come with one extra in the box, which is great. I haven't had to replace mine yet, but they're very cheap, so you shouldn't have to worry about it. There's actually some texturing right here, very easy. You just grab it and pull up. Then there's this little spring right here. You push down on that to release the tension, and the belt will come right off. Same thing to put a new one on. You just line up the bottom bit, push that down, get it on there smoothly, release it to build the tension, and then I would spin it around a few times to make sure that it's all sitting correctly. And then this just snaps right back on. Again, just to summarize, this is the Worksharp Combo Knife Sharpener. It'll get your knife at 25 degrees, 12.5 degrees on each side for serrated edges as well as straight edges. It works great, it's pretty inexpensive, and it doesn't take that long to get used to. Well, that's going to be all for this video, guys. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at edc.kansan or just EDC Kansan on Vero. Also, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe right here on YouTube to see more content just like this. We'll see you guys next time.